I don't know if I'm live yet because my PC lies to me, but this is take 2 on this video. You might have seen I'm just live just now, and I've deleted it because when I went to watch it back, it kept cutting out. I think I know a lot of broadband providers have cut their broadband speeds because so many more people are using broadband at the moment for just the stuff that I'm going to talk about in this video. So maybe that's why I couldn't get it to work on my phone. It kept cutting out. I know it didn't keep cutting out. The YouTube kept crashing, and then I tried it on my laptop and I thought I'd done it, and when I watched it back, it kept cutting out. So this is take 2, and if you're watching me for the second time, you're going to hear the same stuff again. So welcome to this week's Green and Tidy Live. I am Rachel Papworth, the online professional organizer, liberating you from the shackles of chaos, because when your home works, your life works. And over the last couple of weeks, I have been talking to you about how to use the extra time that you may have at home because of lockdown and coronavirus to get your decluttering and organizing done. And I had a couple of comments on YouTube and on Facebook, including from the lovely Jo Aldhouse, who's been a long-time friend of Green and Tidy, reminding me that not everybody has got extra time due to this situation. Some people are busier as a result. So you might be in a number of situations. You might be doing a job that has gone crazy busy. So you might be a teacher. And so as well as teaching the kids that are in school because their parents are key workers, you've also got to do online work, set online work for kids that are at home and manage that whole situation. You might be a healthcare worker, of course, or some other care worker. You might simply be doing your normal life, but things are taking longer. When we go to the supermarket now, we have to queue to get in. And you might be trying to do your normal job from home, and that may be a situation that you're not used to, and that's difficult, and you're struggling with that, and it's affecting your productivity. So in particular, if you are working from home and you're not used to it, this video is for you. I was chatting to a very old friend of mine last week, and she is working from home, and she doesn't usually work from home. And she was talking about finding herself at 3:30 in the afternoon at her desk in her pajamas, feeling really grubby, hungry and thirsty because she never got herself any breakfast because she got caught up in work before she'd got herself ready. And it reminded me, I've been self-employed for about 20 years, more than that, more like 25 years. And so I had actually forgotten the way it was when I first started and the things that I've put in place to make it work. And that conversation really reminded me of some of the things that are just automatic to me now that make working for myself from home work. And I thought I'd share some of those with you. So that's a really key one. Oh, before I say anything else, please do remember to give this video a thumbs up. It really, really helps me. So if you're working from home, and you're not used to working from home, that is a really key rule. I never allow myself to open email or social media or anything to do with work until I've done my morning routine. So for me, that means some exercising, getting up, getting washed and dressed, some exercising, my singing practice, having my breakfast. Until I've done all of that, I do not come into my office and I do not open the social media apps or email on my phone. Because I know that no matter how much I tell myself I'm just going to check this one thing that's stressing me out, and if I just get that done, I'll be able to chill out, it won't work that way. I will get sucked in and I will be in just that situation, middle of the afternoon, feeling all kind of grubby and stressed, and not really feeling like I've achieved anything either. So don't allow that to happen. Basically, what this comes down to is the same thing that I was talking about last week in terms of what to do with the stuff that you can't get out of the home right now, and that is zoning. When you work from home, the danger is that home and work end up overlapping each other. Work encroaches on home and home encroaches on work, and you end up feeling like you're not doing either of them properly, and that's really stressful. And physically, they get on top of each other as well. The stuff from home gets on top of your work papers, and your work papers get on top of your home stuff, and it's a nightmare. So zoning is everything, and what we were talking about there is zoning your time. I'll come back to that. I want to talk a little bit about zoning your space as well. It's really important, if you possibly can, to have a space that is your workspace, where you can leave the stuff that you're working on, where you don't have to clear it away. So you might be at the moment, you might be working on your dining room table or your kitchen table, or maybe you even live in a shared house and the only place you can work from is your bedroom. That's really difficult if you have to clear everything away at the end of every day, or even in the middle of your work, somebody might want the space that you're using. So if at all possible, carve out a space that you can leave as your workspace, even if it's a section of the dining room table or a section of the kitchen table or a section of your dressing table in your bedroom. So try and do that. Try and have a space that you can leave set up. Nobody else is allowed to touch it. They will have to know that they're not allowed to touch it. And you leave that set up, and that's your workspace. And when you go there and sit there, you're at work. Now, I recognize that not everybody will be able to do that. I mean, I'm really fortunate. When I bought this house, I was already working for myself. So I've got an actual office. You know, I've got a room that I created an office in. I've got built-in desks. I've got shelves around me. I realize not everybody is in that situation. If you absolutely cannot carve out a space for yourself, then what you have to do is create a portable office. So what you do is you get a box or a crate or something, and you make sure that what's in it is everything you need for work. So it's the papers that you're working on, it's the stationery that you need. So when you start work, you find the space that you're going to work in that day, or even for that morning, whatever it is, get your crate out, you get everything out, and there you go. That's your office, at least for now. And then when you get to the end of your working time, you put it all the way back in that crate again. Nobody's allowed to touch that but you. That's your portable office. So that's what you need to do there. Let's go back to zoning your time. So I've talked about not starting work until you've been through your morning routine. It actually applies to the whole day, because the danger otherwise is that you end up not taking breaks, you don't have lunch, you just stay at your desk, you go work late into the night, suddenly it's 10:30, you know you must stop, but now you're all kind of wired and you're not ready to go to sleep, and so you don't get to sleep till after midnight, and then you have to get up the next day, you've only had 5 hours sleep, and don't allow that to happen. So zone your time as well. Think about when you're going to have breaks during the day. Make sure you do have breaks. So you might think about certain times, or you might think about when you get to the end of certain tasks, but make sure you have some breaks. Make sure you have lunch. Think about when your lunch break is going to be. Maybe you're going to have half an hour at 1 o'clock or an hour at 1 o'clock. And think about when you're going to finish work, and make sure that you do. Be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself at this time. This is a stressful time for all of us, and you may not be used to working at home. Accept that your productivity might drop for a bit. Hopefully you've got sympathetic co-workers and a manager that you can be honest with about that. So accept that it might take a little while to get your productivity back to normal. So I hope that helps. If you are struggling with fitting everything in, if you're busier than you normally are at this time, as well as being anxious, if you're working from home and you're not used to it, if you're homeschooling the children and somehow you've got to find physical space and time for that, and you're struggling with that, post your questions below this video and I will answer them. I always answer every comment, so I will answer them there. And you never know, you might even give me an idea for a future video and I'll address it in future weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Today I am being hugely grateful for my home and garden. I feel so safe when I walk back in, you know, having been outside, if I've got to go to the shops or whatever, when I walk back in my front door, I feel like I'm coming into a place of safety. And I love sitting in, we've had some lovely weather recently, I love sitting in my garden, chatting to friends or reading a book. And even when I'm sitting in my office, I can see the garden and I can see the birds that are coming to feed in my garden. I love birds, so I'm hugely grateful for that today. And I will see you in the next YouTube Live. Bye for now.